How in the world does a 31-year-old beautiful woman like that, do you understand? 31, you know that 31 looks pretty much 23. Okay, in some women, especially if they age like the way that I'm aging. Yeah, how does a 31-year-old woman like that never get married ever again? Ever again? My mother never remarried. She never remarried. From 31, she's now 60, 30 years down the line. All she had was these random boyfriends, and all of them were weird, strange guys. Bamakins, some of them types it up. Then one guy even used to beat her up. That's somebody standing in the middle of my mom's prospects for romance. Stuff like that commenced in the black community. It was a combination of the witchcraft of my aunt and of my mom's friends. Like when you're that beautiful in a crew of friends, and you have got prospects basically of being loved by every guy is trying to get with you, people are gonna sabotage your romantic prospects. So if my mother had not had a whole bunch of witches around her, do you understand? If she did not have a whole bunch of witches around her, I might have had more siblings than what it is that I have right now. She would have remarried. I would have had a stepdad. I would have had therefore children born from another marriage. But my younger sister was made because my mom she wasn't done with children. She wasn't, man, come on, this computer is just giving me problems. She wasn't done having babies. Do you understand what I'm saying? She wanted more, but she could not stay with my dad. So she would have had a much bigger family than what under heaven it is that she now today has. She would have had a much bigger family than what under heaven that she now today has. By marrying another guy. She was not a Christian and so convicted of marriage and remarriage. If another guy had walked up and proposed marriage, she would have gotten married to him and given me, therefore, more siblings. My younger sister's dad betrayed my mom. She helped him along to start like a business between the two of them when she was unfortunately on the credit bureau and whatnot, and this guy ran off with the proceeds of that business and did what he wanted and dumped my mom when she was still pregnant with my baby sister. He put a baby in her stomach and was like, I'll take care of it, but I don't want you. Like, who in the world does that to a woman like that? That's what's good. That was basically sabotage. Do you understand? Where it is that people see a person falling in love and they're like, it's not going to go anywhere. That stuff is prevalent in the black community, which is why relationships start among us and everybody is happy, and then all of a sudden one party in the room is acting such a fool that the other party is so unhappy that it eventually ends up in a breakup or a very tumultuous relationship. It was like that with my ex-boyfriend. When we first started dating, we were very happy and everything was moving swimmingly. And for the longest time, I thought that maybe he was starting to change because his brother got sick, very sick. He ultimately passed away from colon cancer. And I thought that maybe it was his brother's death that caused him to change in character. But from what the Lord showed me later on as the years progressed, he told me that our relationship was over before it started. Because the moment his friends started to make an observation of the prosperity of the relationship to even change him into a better man, they started to bewitch your union. One friend in particular was pivotal in being highlighted as a saboteur in our relationship. Not only did he cast spells, but he also actually planted seeds of destruction in my boyfriend to disrespect me, to treat me like trash, to stop taking my calls, to basically treat me like I'm just some casual thing that came, even though the guy was head over heels in love with Imediacon. That level of sabotage, that level of manipulation, of people's destinies is what happens in Jeffela for breakfast, lunch and dinner. It's like second nature. It's another Tuesday in the black community to mess up with relationships before they can get anywhere. It's another Tuesday in the black community. So I observed my ex-boyfriend becoming a fool to a point of causing a lot of cognitive dissonance in me. It caused a lot of stress, a lot of confusion as to, but why is this man treating me like this? He wouldn't have done that if he wasn't under a spell. That's the black community. Can't nobody let anybody stay happy. Marriages fall apart. People fight. Husbands, wives cheat on their spouses because nobody is prepared to leave people to live in peace. And as Ranong, when people are making observations of such barbaric activity and they're in competition with you, they will use the fact that you're having a divorce with your husband, the divorce of which is being sparked by your best friend. From a vantage point of having used sorcery to sow discord in your marriage, you're going to have your colleague competing with you in the office, capitalize on the depression you are severely experiencing in the season of your divorce with your husband in order to get the promotion above you. That's what everybody else is doing to the black community. Everyone uses our insanity towards each other against us. But as a country that is South Africa, it is utterly impossible to decimate black people and not decimate the country, period. That's what's going on in the black community. Wonke umuntu uyathakatha la emgaqweni And their witchcraft is begetting witchcraft, meaning that witches are made. They're not born in the black community, they are made. They are made by the fact that everybody bewitches them until they are so hard knock depressed, hard knock beleaguered on all sides, hard knock cornered, that they end up in and of themselves practicing. So abantu that end up turning to umthakathi in the black community, only just look at the lives they lived prior to becoming witches. And ask yourself, how did a person so classy end up umthakathi? How did a woman so classy end up literally taking all of her friends to the sangoma to deal with them, to handle them, to make sure they never come up for ebaskahem? How is that even a thing? Yeah, well, I mean, if you're gonna make it impossible for a person to live, if you're gonna put them in a glass 4x4 cube that they cannot see is actually around them, blocking them from moving in any direction, if you're gonna do that to a person, they are going to try and find a way to get out of that cube, and secondly, make sure everybody else gets in that cube. So they're not going to be the only ones in a cube. So wonke umuntu in the black community is just chilling in a 4x4 cell that they don't see. It's invisible, it's glass, it's cellophane, and so they don't see the witchcraft. And the sad thing as well is that they keep on hanging with each other. And then they go and they have lunch at the restaurant. They go and they break bread. They go and they attend one another's baby's first birthday parties. They go and right ahead and also organize the baby showers prior to those first birthday parties. They go to the same wedding that they sabotaged, the same marriage that they have sown discord in. They are the maiden of honor at it. They are these hypocrites that are not walking around with a sufficient guilty conscience to continue in the grain of their incendiary insensitivity against one another. Gu attendwa ama funeral, when people are met with so much hardship that they end up committing suicide, the person that put them in that hardship will be at their funeral. They will be mourning, crying. They will even be reading the wreath. They will even be at the memorial service doing speeches like sobbing like no man's business when a person passes away because they could not continue to live given the level of blockage that they were endured under by what do you call this, the very person talking about them at their funeral. That's the black community. That's why that's why I want nothing to do with them. That's why I can't stand witches and witchcraft. That's why I am so like I'm like, if at all the Lord would keep me, would linger me longer here on earth, then if at all the rapture, for instance, is not happening tomorrow, day after, and the Lord still intends on proliferating a couple of more years and will give me a husband, I will literally turn down any man that is black. I will turn them down. I will not be with a black man. I am not going to be with a black man, because to be with a black man is to go into a black family, is to deal with a man that is going to be encircled by people that keep on shooting each other down to the ground like birds in the sky that shoot one another down. I am going to minimize my chances of being afflicted by a lifetime of sorcery. Do you understand? Because I'm always around black people. I like what is this? There is a saying in this world: better the devil you know than the one that you don't know. Okay, I know my family's insanity. I know their sorcery. I know Orbatawe. So let those be the only black people I'm dealing with. I do not want to deal with my husband's family's demons. Do you understand? I don't want to walk into a room, go family gathering, get together, a housewarming, whatever. Do you understand? And in that room, out of to buy 40, a good 27 to 30 of them are witches. And so you like proper, anybody could look at you, scan you up and down, and make a decision that they're gonna bewitch something of yours. Every woman that is smiling at you is already planning on breaking you up with the fiance you rocked up that you just introduced her to. Every like random guy that your man introduces you to is already planning on sabotaging your union because he's jealous of his boy. That's the black community for you. It's just a circus, and unfortunately everybody outside of us is using the circus nature to bring black people low. If you're a good black person, if you're skilled at what you do, if you're good at anything you do, other people outside of the race will use the defeatism of the black community to get to you. You are already at a disadvantage. And guys, I've dealt with a whole decade of this insanity. So my decision to avoid a marriage to a black man is based on experience, and it's based on the fact that witchcraft begets witchcraft, and that black people bewitch each other into so much oblivion that they end up turning to sorcery. And upon turning to sorcery, now a family is made up of like 70% to 80% witches, and those that are not even converted into witches yet are only that way because they're still kids. They're still kids, and so they will inevitably become baloyi, or they are bazalwane, praise the Lord. But you see, the thing about being umzalwane, the thing about being a Christian in a black family, is that the level of torment and attack that you're going to be endured under because of your Christianity will basically lay your life destitute like mine. You are going to be broken up with families, with cousins, guys. You are going to have issues with your siblings. Your mother is going to treat you very differently from the time you get born again. It just makes family experiences so rough. Everybody going to talk down about you, underestimate the living daylights out of you. Everybody is going to be charged against you. I don't want to be dealing with that other than just with my family. I've got abatagati la echartini. There's enough. I don't want to go nakelo olla bako khabo kingi shabalala. Ake batlo kholo olla bako mazibugo. Ake batlo kholo olla bako bule bako moloi. Since ke baloi kaofela ake batlo kholo olla baloi bako bodlamene. Guys, I don't want to fetch myself my husband's aunt's ridiculousness. I don't want to fetch myself my husband's grandmother's ridiculousness. I don't want to fetch myself my husband's what he calls cousins. I don't want to be at a wedding. Do you understand? I don't want my own wedding to be attended by ugogo or busy atagata mina nomyeni wami ngoba yena isangoma while the two of us are Christians. I'm sorry, I can't. I want to like as in I'm done. I had a friend who was among the first out of us to get married, and the level of jealousy made it impossible for her to be entirely happy. Like proper, her photo ops were clearly fake. She was posing. Do you understand? She was unhappy, and she was also not treating us the way that she had before, because she had experienced so much jealous mistreatment ever since she got engaged that she didn't know who to trust. So even though we were at her wedding, we were strangers. We had our names and everything on little cards, and yet she treated us ingati strangers. And when she was busy taking photos, she couldn't even look us in the eye. That's a woman that's not happy on her wedding day. She's looking over her shoulder. On her wedding day, she's looking over her shoulder because of the level of betrayal. Even that particular day, there are people there who have bewitched the bride and the groom before they could even go to honeymoon. Who wants that? I had a friend at MTN who God gave a dream about me getting married, and I was looking very beautiful in the dream. She came the next day. I was like, oh, Karabo, God showed me a dream of you getting married. You look so beautiful. I was like, oh, maybe my dreams are getting answered. My prayers to God about a husband are getting answered. And when I was busy jumping up and down in front of her, basically appreciating that God is confirming my husband is coming through her, she changed, she changed ever so immediately. And before I knew it, I got a dream where it is that I was pregnant by my ex-boyfriend and some other dude that I had also dated. I dated briefly when I was newly saved. For 2 months. I had a dream where I was pregnant by both my ex-boyfriend and this guy. And I was barefoot in the dream in some bathroom where the floor was murky with water. And I was heavily pregnant, and my stomach had such black stretch marks on it that I could not deal because I had lost umzimba wam. And when I was looking in the mirror, I was at the bathroom something in Eleko Wits University, and I was in these dirty bathrooms at Wits, and I could not even finish my degree because of the fact that I was pregnant with basically 2 babies in my stomach that belonged to 2 different men. When I ultimately in the dream, I cried out to Jesus. I was like, God, what's going on? Help me. As soon as I said, God, help me, the pregnancy disappeared. I found myself sitting in the back seat of this girl's Mercedes. She used to drive a black Mercedes. I was sitting in the back seat of her car, and she looked back at me from this car of hers, and she was like, hi, Karabo. And God was like, that's the one. That's who's doing that to you. It took me years to figure out what that dream meant, because it would take me losing everything to ultimately be able to interpret my dreams properly. I have told you guys that before, that my spiritual gifting, I only began to appreciate it after losing everything. God was showing me that this woman not only wanted to shatter my prospects for getting married, but she wanted me to be the kind of woman that would have babies by different men. Where it is that I would have my first pregnancy with one guy, and then I would have a second pregnancy with another guy, so as to ruin my stats in that regard. Give a baby mama and fella across the show of multiple baby daddies but never get married. And also, like I said, it happened at Wits, where it is that I felt like my degree was also taken away. She also came against my prospects for education, anything of glory of mine. And after that dream, that chick started to change on me. She started to act differently. She was no longer the same girl that she was towards me. Now, if her witchcraft had stuck on me, and I was this glorious girl that ended up the baby mama of multiple guys, You must understand I would have turned to sorcery. That's why, if it was not for my redemption at the right time, I literally got saved at the opportune time. I'm not saying I'm better than all black people. I'm saying I escaped it. I dodged a bullet. Do you understand? In that I got born again before everything of mine could fall apart, where it is that upon me falling apart, I would then make a decision to respond to my falling apartness by also bewitching other people and also protecting myself with witchcraft. Black people end up basvigelang emiti, and they bewitch others. Whatever mistakes they made, they try to make other people make them, and then they also turn around and try to make you themselves and what is this unafflicted by these massacrings anymore. That's the kind of stuff that I am made to see. Do you understand? So now when you see that level of insanity, when I was at the colleagues that put witchcraft on me, a large majority black, followed closely by Indians, only 2 white guys put a spell on me. No white women. Oh, but I have had white women put spells on me at my former church that was largely white. They had a whole coven. So yeah, white people do witchcraft, but the majority of the participants in this dark deed in this country are black. I had a male colleague where it is that I saw a beautiful bird. It looked like it could have been a dove. It was flying in the building at MTN. It was quite an aerated, large, spacious building that we worked in, and there was a beautiful bird flying in the sky, and this guy literally took out what looked like an AK-47. It was a rifle. It was some big gun, like a machine gun. He took out a machine gun, one of those long ones. It was not a pistol, and he shot it to the ground. Yeah, I was splat, boo, to the ground, to the floor. I asked the Lord, what in the world was I seeing? And it would only take me losing everything to realize that God was showing me as that bird. That colleague bewitched you. He saw you flying like a bird, and then decided you're going to come down. I don't know how many colleagues, male and female, black, put witchcraft on me so as to go nowhere in life. That's the black community for you. So don't be calling me no Uncle Tom. I don't want to have to deal. No gogo. That's always going to be doing some kind of ritual against my children. I don't want to have to take Batung. There's a woman that repented, that gave her life to Jesus Christ when she was on the come up. However, she got initiated into the occult by Nkhonwa. Her parents were Christian. Do you understand? And when she would go visit the grandmother was a high order priestess. Erika Mukisa, go listen to her testimony. Her grandmother was a high priestess in the occult, and she was earmarking Erica to becoming a Satanist. Before this kid had any chance at all, it was over before he started for her. She set that kid up to go to hell, while the parents imagined they were just sending the child over to go and visit Ugogo. Erica not only had a grandmother that initiated her before she could even articulate herself properly into the occult, but she had an aunt who was her mother's sister, that every holidays she would go and visit that aunt. And that aunt of hers, you would imagine that because ke auntie, she would be responsible, and the mother would also trust the auntie to basically take care of the child. You don't let my child go to clubs. You don't let my child mess up with boys. If you see my child doing ABC, now this aunt not only took this child to parties and whatnot, but she also did rituals with Erica when she was just a teenager. The mother did not know. Erica did not tell the mother and the father. So here it is that parents were living with a kid that was a devil worshipper as Christian parents. And all they saw was a kid that was withdrawn, disobedient, unaware to themselves that their kid has been initiated into the occult by grandmother and proliferated in the occult by the aunt. I don't want to deal with any of that nonsense. Like, if I had stayed, basically, as a Christian woman, I would have married a Christian man and raised my children up in the admonition of the Lord. If I had stayed tight with my cousin, I was going to take my children to my cousin for the holidays. 1 minute. Just come in. I was gonna take my cousin to what do you call this thing? I was gonna take my kids to my cousin for the holidays because we were tight. Do you understand? In order that my cousin's children and my children would grow up knowing each other. Do you understand? And because she is as heavily involved in the occult as she is, she might have been like Erica's aunt, who, upon visiting the aunt, would be spoiled with sin in a way that is forbidden. Go harbor this child. And children are very impressionable. Children also tend to favor the grandmother that allows them to eat sweets when the mother is telling them to avoid sweets because they don't want their child getting cavities. Do you understand? There's a difference between spoiling a child gari sweetie and spoiling a child with wayward behavior, with witchcraft, with boys, with parties, with clubs. A child that's not allowed, for where it is that she stays, to go out at night because she's only 15 years old, and having an auntie say, I won't tell, insofar as you make sure you're back home by 2 a.m. Your child is busy pumping it up in a club when you think she's sleeping in safely in auntie's house. Auntie of which is also happy to confirm with the mom that no, she's such a sweet girl. Well, she'll call you in the morning when she comes back. Meanwhile, this kid is partying because the aunt has loose morals. That's what I was dealing with. If at all the Lord did not give me eyes that see, I would have sent my child to a cousin, do you understand? That would have let her do whatever she wants, given that she would have been a high order, like, devil worshipper, while her cousin sister was a Christian. And these kids, being as impressionable as they are, would have rather liked my cousin more than me, because it's written in God's word that in the heart of a child dwells a lot of folly, but the rod of discipline drives it away from him. The rod of discipline drives away this folly from the child. So if at all you're busy putting a rod of discipline on a child, and you've got some silly aunt or grandmother that is insisting that they walk in folly, all the work you're putting in them is going to be thrown away. This kid is going to want to visit the grandmother every holiday. This kid is going to want every opportunity to sin against God at your expense. That's the kind of stuff that happens in the black community. Like, I can't deal. I cannot deal. All over the show. I also have a sister that's very heavily involved in the occult. I would have taken my children to auntie. Auntie is a whole devil worshipping alcoholic. What in the world am I gonna do with my kids over there? I can't trust Ngabo. I can't trust her, Ngabo. So must I like incubate my children from their family? That's the thing. I don't want to magnify that times 2. I don't want Nana to be a witch. I want to minimize the likelihood or the probability of my children's aunties and uncles, do you understand, roaming around in the occult, insisting on initiating my children. I would much rather marry into a family where everybody or almost everyone is a Christian. That's what it is that I feel like I would be safe in. And in the black community, like proper, I've given you enough chances. I'm done. I've given black people enough chances. As a guy that I liked very much, I had massive feelings for him at MTN. I had been to his brother's funeral, and when I saw the home where it is that they all appeared to be born again, the whole family looked godly. Do you understand? I was like, this is the kind of family I want to marry into. So uncle would have been really great to my kids. So too would have the aunties, so too would have the mom, the grandmother basically, and the granddad would have been really great to leave my children with, until I came to learn that that same little animal is into witchcraft. So hi, by the way, now a lawyer, when you look so godly, what's to say that your brother is not also dabbling? What's to say that your mom is not dabbling? What's to say your dad is not dabbling? I don't want my children going to visit an evil grandmother that is a witch. I don't want that. I want my kids to have, I want my children's grandmother to respect the rules of my household when my child is concerned. You can spoil my kid with chocolate when I'm trying to protect their teeth from cavities, but you don't get to spoil my kids with nightclubs, drugs, and witchcraft. You don't get to do that. And that's the level of insanity going on in the black community. So much sabotage that nobody wants anybody's kids to be okay except their own. So I don't even understand what's going on over there. I had a dream last night. So basically what I'm trying to explain to you guys is that in the black community, even though a family might in the beginning stages start out largely okay if they're secular, somewhere along the way, if they're not born again, if I say Christian, if the family is not rooted in Christ, abantu, they just flip to witchcraft. They turn and they love witchcraft. To a point where your brother, your sister with your children. No one is trustworthy with your kids, and no one is also trustworthy with you. While being with a Christian husband will protect both of you from seeds of discord sown in a marriage, because they will fight it biblically. Bottom line is, when people are still throwing witchcraft at you, you will feel the effects. You will be inebriated, do you understand? You will get wobbly-legged, you will be sleepy. You will have demonic torment in your mind, you're gonna get an attack. So even though you might demolish arguments and every lofty pretension that exalts itself above the Most High, and hold into captivity every thought to the obedience of Jesus Christ, even though you might be a spiritual warrior of note, bottom line is, the war is real, whether or not you conquer it. So who wants to be perpetually fatigued? Who wants to be constantly fasting and praying against witchcraft from the family? What married couple always wants to snap out of arguing because they realize it's a demonic attack? Who wants to constantly be putting barriers around their house because your grandmother just won't stop freaking abusing that particular family because she's a high priestess? Who wants to live in so much chaos? It is indeed true that you can conquer demonic spirits as a Christian family. But if you're always getting darts and arrows coming at you, who wants to struggle to stay awake in class as a student? Because they're busy fighting spiritual attack around them. So it's not enough to merely have a Christian husband. Insofar as the two of us, it's us against the world. I don't want to have to make war with these families' witchcraft. I don't want to have to make war with the whole black community that won't stop bewitching each other. I don't want to have to make that war. Do you understand? Because it's a real fight. I know what it's like. I don't know how many times I've been put on the precipice of suicide. I don't know how many times I've had to beg God to basically save my mind from being demonically tormented by all of this witchcraft around. I don't know how many times I have to toss and turn in bed at night because some entity is refusing to let me sleep. I don't know how many times I have to deal with demonic nightmares, with dreams of like sexual perversion. I don't know how many times I have to basically enter into a fast when I don't want to fast yet. I don't want to have to, like, how many times a year I fast is ridiculous. I don't want to have to be in this level of spiritual war because I am living amidst a community of people that won't stop throwing bombs at each other. Just because I can survive them does not mean I should have to settle with fighting them for the rest of my days. I don't want to deal with that level of spiritual war. Black families that are more or less left to be okay are those that are not in Africa. Those living in the West, in what do you call this, like America and Europe, they tend to be better off because there's less sorcery practiced there even by black people. But when you're in Africa, it's like a 24-hour-a-day cantankerous, chaotic mess. And even in Western culture, there are people already dabbling so badly that they're afflicting their family members. Look at this animal from the US. So this thing that black people do to each other, I literally can't. I can't. It's not enough to marry a Christian man. I don't want a man that has got family that's busy dabbling. So really and truly, the best solution at this point is to avoid the black community, period. It's to avoid a black husband, period. Because like I said, there was a guy I met that I thought was Christian. His family looked really Christian until he turned out to be a witch. How in the world am I going to know? How in the world am I going to know? I want to minimize the spiritual war for the rest of my days, guys. I just want to minimize it. I know it is impossible as a Christian to avoid spiritual war altogether, but the level of tumult that I am perpetually endured under 24 hours a day is too much. This is too much spiritual war. The psychosis in the black community is so exorbitant that I feel as if though I will have no peaceable life if I marry in the black community. It cannot be a black man. It just can't. I cannot be with a family that is going to set my children up for failure and hate each other's success. That's a black thing. That is actually very uniquely black, because not even Indian people suffer with that issue where people don't want one another to succeed. It's a black issue. So I am highly unlikely in any other community gonna find a man who has got a sister that wants him to go nowhere, who has got a brother that wants to destroy his career. Highly unlikely gonna find a mother that does not want her children to succeed. Highly unlikely anywhere else, because that is a black issue. That is a black problem. There's defeatism in the black community. Yeah, no. May the Lord rapture the body of Christ so as to minimize the level of humiliation that the black community is going to ultimately feel in the long run for doing this to their own people. You are literally chasing black people that are tired of the cantankerous chaos away from the community. You are making black people mass exodus out of the black community just to find peace. So if God does not rapture the church, do you understand? If God does not rapture the body of Christ, we are going to be dealing with such a mass exodus by black people out of the black community to go and marry anywhere else that it is going to start becoming embarrassing for black people with their black culture trying to maintain what they're maintaining. The level of defeatism among you is ridiculous. Do you understand? It is catastrophic. It is apocalyptic unto your for yourselves only. It's apocalyptic. Your witchcraft, where it is that you all want to keep each other in a grain of nothingness, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Black friends, black family, black colleagues, black like, yes, you guys, Nina and Tagatayo are my colleagues. Like, how many of you black witches, just be honest for a second, have bewitched a white colleague? How many of you have bewitched a colored or an Indian colleague? Just give me a show of hands. Largely, it's always the black colleague, even though you are competitive with the Indian one. Even though you have got a competitive edge against the white chick in the office, you are highly likely going to thwart the career of the black colleague. It's literally against just each other that you are doing this thing. So mina if I can minimize how many of you I have around me, it's better off. But then again, in order to be spared embarrassment as black people, I feel like the Lord should rapture the church and just judge everybody's sins once and for all. Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with a mass exodus out of your community. A mass exodus. And then you're going to go on right ahead and accuse people of being Uncle Toms when they try to give you a chance. When they try to give you a chance. I had a dream of my older sister watching my content, but literally shooting down everybody that tried to watch it. She's watching my videos, like eating popcorn and everything. But anyone at all that would try to also watch my videos, she was shooting them down. Essentially, that was God showing me that your older sister is currently busy with blocking your YouTube channel. It's already blocked. I've already been thwarted. I've already been, stayed. I'm already being shadow banned by YouTube. And so she's basically adding a spell on top of a spell. She was blocking everyone from watching me, but in and of herself, she was watching me. That was the one dream. And then I had another dream where my cousin, the one that was my best friend, but now she's my mortal enemy, and God is going to kill her. Remember, I told you guys in a dream about, not a dream, but it was a video where I was using an analogy of how it is that this beast, this animal, this monstrous thing, I don't know what he is, I hate him. This like whatever from America, there's some dude from the US that's busy abusing the living daylights out of me using witchcraft. He's into korobela, he's just a psychopath. And I was using an example about how it is that if you end up married to a man like that, you might as well be marooned on an island where he's the only helicopter coming in to bring food, where he's the only person giving you company, because he will literally ward off every man that tries to pursue you. He will shoot down every man, he will shoot down every hand of help, he will make sure that he's the only person taking care of you. Such that to be with him is essentially the equivalent or tantamount of being marooned on an island with only one person coming in to check in on you. And you are marrying that person. Yeah. Well, I had a dream that basically was using that same analogy that I used, where it is that I was on a marooned, and I said another thing that I said in that particular dream, not dream, but that metaphor that I was using. Another thing that I was saying was that if at all you are marooned on an island where a guy is the only one that is looking at you, only one in a year there's no other man looking at you, no other feasible prospect for romance comes along except for him, what you need to do on that day, since you've been marooned on his little witchcraft island, is send up any smoke signal in the sky. Send up right on the floor, SOS with stones, burn a fire, like I said, so anything to make sure that there is some kind of sign from ships around and helicopters flying on high to see that there is a person that is stranded on an island marooned, and so rescue you. That you need to scream as much as you possibly can to get out. You need to raise awareness. You need to make it clear that, hey, there is somebody holding me hostage with witchcraft. You need to talk about it, scream about it, even if people don't believe you. You need to keep on flailing your hands in the sky. Otherwise, you will never get seen. The way you deal with these witches is by making yourself known, relevant, seen. Scream on a rooftop where there is no one in kilometers upon kilometers of a radius. Even though it is highly unlikely you're going to get rescued, you cannot stop screaming. If people have marooned you so violently that you are living in a ghost town, do not ever get to a point where you stop waking up and where you stop screaming, where you stop walking up and down those streets with a microphone saying, is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Go, go, go. Is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Go, go, go. Is there anybody out there? Do not stop sending out a signal. Do not stop sending out a radio broadcast. Do not stop trying to find the right frequency where there might be people. Because one day, the Lord will miraculously cause somebody to listen into your frequency. One day, the Lord will cause someone that has ears to hear and eyes to see, someone that he has sent particularly and specifically for your rescue, to rescue you. Do not ever stop talking. Do not ever stop screaming. Do not ever stop trying to find the right signal. Just like Will Smith in I Am Legend, is it? Where it is that he keeps on every day at a particular hour, sending out a radio broadcast. He never stops. And ultimately, some woman and her child respond. Some woman and her child respond. You cannot stop when a zombie violence around you, when a whole bunch of like zombies, incendiary, filthy men and women in the occult are insisting on isolating you, marooning you, making sure that you will end up capitulating, you will settle, you will do what I want you to do. When people are insisting that you get stuck in a grain, the best thing you can do for yourself is continue to pitch. You must rock up every single day without fail. Burn that fire even if you feel like you're wasting time. Burn that fire even if you feel like you're wasting time, because one day there will be a helicopter flying on high, and if you don't burn that fire, they won't see that smoke signal. They will not see that smoke signal. Imagine if a helicopter or some like ship in fella is passing by the island that you're marooned on, and only now you're starting to burn a fire. Only now you're starting to basically try to see if you can put stones on the floor that say SOS. They will fly right overboard while you're jumping as a small little minuscule action figure on some and they're not gonna hear you, but they will see a giant SOS on the floor. So if somebody bombs your SOS down, if somebody floods it away, if somebody with the wind or a tsunami of sort removes the stones, the next morning wake up and put them back there again. If like a whole bunch of natives, like the in Pirates of the Caribbean, there is this clan called the Pelagostos that try to kill Jack Sparrow. If the Pelagostos remove that and they chase you around, you must always come back. Burn a fire, even from a different angle in the island, because every single day that you pitch up, you're not giving up. And so God will count it unto you as faith, as righteousness, because you believed. Faith, just like Abraham and Sarah, it was accounted unto them as righteousness. Abraham, it was accounted unto him as faith and as righteousness to sacrifice his son Isaac, and then the Lord stayed his hand from finishing the job. Sarah believed, and it was accounted and that she would get a child in her old year when she was past age, and it was accounted unto her as righteousness. So every single day you rock up when nobody is responding to you, your YouTube channel is shadow banned, it is arid, there is a tumbleweed rolling around in it, nobody is listening to you, nobody is coming through for you. Do not stop pitching, because the Lord will account it to you as righteousness. It will be accounted to you as faithfulness, and one day he will send somebody that will spot that smoke signal and pull you out, harness you out of an environment that you don't belong in. Oh, don't allow abantu ukuthi bakuforce because go groveling at the feet of devil worshippers that feel as if though can nobody out here in these streets ever get their way in other than them. My channel is so severely shadow banned that sometimes I don't get any views on any of my videos. But do you ever see me stopping to rock up? Every day I light a fire. Every day I put stones down on the ground to say SOS. Every single day. And in my dream, my wicked cousin, that filthy animal, like I told you, she's a mortal enemy, I had a dream of her. She hovered above that particular island, an island that I was marooned on. I was marooned on it. Yo, guys, yes, like it. I was marooned on this island, and I had put down stones saying SOS on the floor. And I had also burned a fire sending up a smoke signal. And my cousin hovered with a spacecraft over my island, and she poured sand. It was black sand. It looked grayish black. And she poured a whole bunch of sand on my SOS and on my fire. Like she hovered over my rescue signal and poured sand, black gray sand, on top of my SOS. God was like, Labantu are not gonna stop, Karab. They will keep on coming to your ministry, listening to your content, and they will do spells to block you, to cloak you, to blind people from you. I've had a dream where the same cousin, she used to be my best friend, and now we are, like I said, mortal enemies. Somebody gonna die. And there was a dream where I was trying to talk to people, and she was standing in front of me. I was giving them the gospel, and these people were ignoring me, and she was standing there priding herself in the fact that I was being ignored, and she was the actual barrier of noisomeness. She was the barrier. She was like a soundproof barrier between me and those people, and she just stood there on some, you can scream as much as you want, but nobody's gonna hear you. I don't know what witchcraft you have to do to achieve that, what kind of spell it is, but know and understand that this level of insanity that dwells in the black community, you are going to get embarrassed when people finally get their day in court, when people get so fed up with you that they literally emigrate, they move away, and now no longer want anything to do with you. You are going to get embarrassed when people basically put to the ground and burn the casket of black culture. The thing you are, this Black Lives Matter nonsense that's causing everybody to burn down buildings on your behalf, looting, rioting. When you do this to each other, you can't even take care of yourselves, and yet you out here expecting white people to respect you. You out here expecting everybody else to come and riot and march when one of your people gets brought down, when one of your people gets killed, when one of your people gets brought down to the ground because of whatever reason, police brutality, racism, anything at all that you like to raise as a race card. Yeah, you're gonna get embarrassed because the largest number of casualties in the black community are not from police brutality or racism. They are from black people killing each other. When you are the number one cause for black unsuccessfulness, for black poverty, when you're the number one reason for black regression, when you're the number one reason for black death, when you're the number one reason for black isolation, for the voices of black people not being heard, when you are the number one reason why black people can do nothing, when you are sitting on the chest of black people and then you stand on a rooftop and you write about how Black Lives Matter, you're standing on a rooftop talking about how Black Lives Matter, and then you expect the whole damn planet to join you in your riotous march that is looting entire cities. And then when people take a magnifying glass and a microscope and they look deeply into the incendiary thing that you're doing, and then realize that you are literally mowing to the ground and putting more people in caskets as black people than any other single demographic ever can. On that day, you're going to be violently humiliated, black people. You're going to be humiliated when your families are teaming at the Folds Kabaloyi, where you can't stop bashing each other's heads into walls, cracking skulls, making sure women stay baby mamas and not wives, making sure that men become wife beaters, ensuring that nobody can ever really truly have a good reputation in the black community, that the stars among you are tripped before they can even get anywhere. Look at me. I was supposed to be a whole academic, a lecturer, a professor. I was supposed to be a businesswoman and a woman with this level of ingenuity, talent, skills, giftedness in so many regards. Yeah, is sitting at the back of a mother's house gathering dust, hot like no man's business, burning, boiling, from sweat, because I've been left in an unventilated shack in the middle of summer to go nowhere and do nothing. When people start to realize that really and truly police brutality, my buttock, you are killing each other. That's when you will get embarrassed. You will finally shut up with your socialistic, communistic regimes. You will finally shut up when people realize that really and truly, indeed, charity begins at home. In my dream, my cousin put sand on my SOS. In other words, she's burying yet another black person. No. I'm not being killed by white folk anymore, is it? I'm not being killed by Indians anymore, am I? I am not even being killed by the irresponsible government of my country. I am being killed by my own family, right in my own backyard. My sister is telling people don't watch Karabo, and my cousin is hiding my smoke signal. She is snuffing out my freaking smoke signal. That's black people for you. And then you expect to be respected. I don't understand what you're doing. The diaspora from the black community is a well-needed one. It is a respite for those among us who are exhausted with your defeatism. It is no wonder China. It is no wonder It is no wonder we are busy marrying anyone other than blacks. It's not that we don't like black. It's not that we are tired of being black. It is that we cannot survive as blacks. That's what you are. I can't even escape the grain of insanity that I'm endured under right now. Because abantu insist they insist that I don't breathe, I don't move anywhere, I don't do anything. Yazin, you are destroying never mind your own country, but your people first. This cousin snuffed out my smoke signal, but like I said, the grain of new sensing in the black community as a black person. Don't stop pitching. Do not stop talking. Don't let them silence you. Some filthy cousin lawyer into oblivion. Do not let some filthy colleague bewitch you into oblivion. Do not allow some filthy ex-boyfriend bewitch you into oblivion. Do not allow some filthy parent to bewitch you into oblivion. Don't let any deadbeat friend who has destroyed her own face and her own life bewitch you into oblivion. Refuse to sit down and do nothing, because it will be accounted unto you as righteousness. Do you understand? If you continue to pitch, the Lord will ultimately get your smoke signal seen by something that he will send on the perfect day, the opportune day. Yours is to continue. It is written in God's word that do not grow weary of doing good, but because in due season you will reap the peaceful fruit of righteousness if you don't give up. Do not stop pitching. Don't stop uploading your YouTube channel. Don't suddenly quit. If you have quit, go back. Reignite that engine. Go back and upload your posts. If they have shadow banned you, if they have removed, if they have put down, if they have brought down the Twitter, not Twitter, set up TikTok. Hi bani ba go shadow ban ile go TikTok. You know how TikTok has this thing about Christians, against Christians. They have like a whole bone to pick with Christians. Yeah, go back to your TikTok account. Go upload go TikTok. Go back and upload on TikTok. Return to TikTok and upload on TikTok. If at all they have removed your account, they have suspended you without cause, start a new account, upload again. Do what you need to do. Go on YouTube, upload. Go on Facebook, upload. Talk, boo. Go on the street if you're an evangelist and speak on the rooftops. Eventually somebody will hear you. Do not embrace the grain of poverty. Do not embrace the grain of defeatism among your people. You were born of a different status. You are not your father's son or mother's daughter. You are God's. You are people of a different status. You have a different grain. Do you understand? You are indwelt by the Holy Spirit. That's what's good. The Lord is the father to the fatherless. He takes up the cause of the widow and the orphan. Do you understand? If your father and your mother abandon you, the Lord will take up your cause. That's what's good. If your family members are pumaguwe, God will have your back. You might have been born in a deadbeat plaza that don't make sense and you were supposed to end up nowhere. But where it is that you go when Christ has a plan for you is somewhere where you have a hope and a future. It is written in God's word that mark the upright. Look at the man of peace, for there is a future for that person. Behold the upright, mark the righteous man, for there is a future for the man of peace. Upon the Lord raising up Jeremiah, he said, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a hope and a future. Do not give up, don't settle, don't capitulate. For my goodness gracious, women, don't let yourself marry men over so long. If you suspect them, get out. Get out. They are full of gaslighting. Pumper. Don't even give them one opportunity to explain themselves. Just leave. Do not ever end up married to a wicked man. And don't let a friend almost so long stay. Get out, walk, get the step in, and keep on burning your torch, because somebody is going to spot you from the sky. Someone, even if it has not been, even if there's been nobody frequenting your ecosystem for 100 days back to back, 100 days back to back. I personally have not gained any new subscribers in almost a month. Keep pitching. Boloyi, bokaso. Do not grow weary of doing good, because in due season you will reap the peaceful fruit of righteousness if you don't give up. Never stop pitching. At some point somebody's gonna watch you. Bottom line is, if these witches can clock into your channel to find out what's going on, what's to make a person that's godly not come and see you? Bantu bamnyama mina ngiqedile ngane, I'm finished. I am literally exhausted with you. I keep on getting visions, dreams, nightmares where I am being told about my own funeral. Memorial service. I'm being told about my funeral, my memorial service, my this and that. Every time they listen to me speak about Satan, death cases, love spells, all different kinds of random attempts. Death curses, love spells, all different kinds of random attempts. Labantu are on a loop, on and off. We're thinking wire. They don't have breaks. On a loop. But busy. Day and night. But busy. Day and night. So janong jaka hanna ke planet lifu. Kisa intende go tlhokafala. Since my funeral has been planned when I have no intentions of dying. Since my future husband has been told who it is that it's going to be when I want nothing to do with that bugger. Since mina ngitshelwe ukuthi ngiyoscanna amagroza ePick and Pay, when I'm bigger than that, since I'm being told that my YouTube channel I'm eventually kitlongala kankani, kisazibay. I'm sorry guys. They are dictators, wankutwa, and yours is to grab your own future and run with it. Let them continue to let them continue doing whatever under heaven they want to do to wonke umuntu la emgaqweni obamthandayo, because that's the thing. Witchcraft is a crime of passion. And so balimaza abantu ababathandayo. Balimaza abantu babaratang. Jaka ga bale rata hakana bale lawyer. Another habati shooting in the foot. Are they not shooting themselves in the foot? When they busy bewitching everyone they love. One day they will have no one. One day they will have nothing. One day they will be permanently displaced. One day they will be in the ground. While in the ground, their body rotting, their soul is in Sheol, having to be tormented for eternity because of their wicked ways. While when you are finally getting your day in court, do not give up. Long suffering is a fruit of the Holy Spirit. The Lord knew that the world would persecute us. The world would hate disciples. Black people, I'm talking to you black people. If at all you're exhausted with the grain of the black community, with all of this defeatism that's causing everybody ukuthi akunyatse, wonke umuntu is competing with you gabi violently, amandiya abhiza akuthathela icareer yakho. They're busy pulling the rug from under your feet at the office where you work, because they've made an observation that you have no support from black colleagues. They've also made an observation that your black boss is giving you grief. They've also made an observation that they've made observations, and so now lo muntu lona lo Riyadh lo Ashal uya succeed to take away your career because no one is standing for you. Understand, if you put out a smoke signal, somebody will ultimately notice ukuthi uRiyadh wrong. Somebody will make a decision to disregard the insensitivity and the craziness of Ashal. They will make sure that they ignore the person that is trying to take away your career when you have not done anything wrong. Do not stop pitching. Just do a better thing. Erect, stand firm, and do not be your mother's son or your daughter's, or your father's daughter. Oskaba, a typical black person. Y'all need to be graduated away from black culture. It's destructive. In South Africa, the whole country is passing away because defeatism in black communities has caused everybody else and all of their apathy to just allow black people to fall like dominoes when we are the majority of the country. The whole of South Africa is passing away because of black defeatism. If you want to escape the grain of that futility among black people, go to Jesus. The grain of Mona, Oling so extreme, jealousy so extreme that people will watch you suffer, grovel, moan, grunt. The jealousy so extreme that women will watch a woman get raped by a man and do nothing. A jealousy so extreme that you will watch a woman get stalked into oblivion by a merciless, like, murderer and rapist and do nothing because you are competing. When you're dealing with that level of jealousy, who in the world is going to rescue you? Since nobody's coming for you in the black, no one is coming for you in the black community. Who is gonna have your back when no one has your back because you're black? Well, God is not a respecter of persons. To him, there is neither Jew nor Gentile, for all are one in Christ. There is no Greek or Jew in the sight of God. There is no black or white or Indian in the sight of God. Just his adoration for you. If you want to escape the grain of the black community and being mistreated by people that were around you all of your life, you will give your life to Christ. There is solace and escape in no other name but Jesus Christ. Bantu bamnyama, mina ngicedile ngani. Know that that's true. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. And the only reason I can confidently say ngifeyitse kalona is because I have Christ. I don't need you and your defeatism, the sand you're pouring over my SOS. Hey, but I'm going to build that stone that again. How much fuel do you have in your little jet in the sky that you are carrying so much sand in that it uses up all of its fuel? How much fuel, cousin, since you have dedicated your life to Satan for breakfast, lunch and dinner? How much fuel do you have in your jet? You better have oil reserves, lifetime supply from Venezuela to continue to hover over my island, pouring sand over my save our souls and sand over my smoke signal. You're gonna have to have as much energy as I do. Wankutla. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. In a fire I don't burn. Maralona, like the soldiers who keep on increasing heat around me. You will fall into the same furnace. Do you understand? So my question to you, cousin, is how much jet fuel do you have to continue to hover your vessel overboard, pouring sand on every day's work that I do to get seen? How much energy do you have to invest in witchcraft? How much money in your bank account do you have to invest in that much witchcraft? How much witchcraft energy do you have? How many sleepless nights do you have where you're continuously listening to my content, hoping nobody listens to me or watches me? How much of witchcraft are you going to do in a week? How much witchcraft are you going to do in a month, a day, a split second? How much witchcraft? Unale matla na aho stem against me. Can you jewel me, cousin? I have been in isolation, destituted, with no family, no love, no support for a whole freaking decade. Can you stand against me? Because how much energy do you have? Do you have another decade? Do you have another year? Never mind a decade. All of this nonsense that you're doing, all of this witchcraft you're investing to make sure nobody sees me, all of this sorcery. Do you have the financial resources and do you also have the energy? Given that you're a whole mother that should be raising bana ba gagwe, mara o focus is mo cousin ya gago re ska bohema happy. How much witchcraft do you have in you? And the same thing goes to my sister. How much jet fuel do you have? Given that you've recently lost everything, how much fuel in your little witchcraft machine do you have to continue to make sure no one listens to me but you? I feel as if though not enough, I'm the one that God will renew the strength is. It's written in Isaiah 40:31 that those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. So really, that's who you're standing against. Umuntu ongakhathali. A person that is renewed by a supernatural force. So jaga hakili buditse, how much jet fuel do you have? And when how much juice in your sorcery do you have to keep on blocking people from listening to me? Can you stand against one who is mounting up with wings like eagles, running and not fainting, walking and not growing weary? Do you have enough energy to stand against a child of the living God anointed by the Holy Spirit? Do you? I don't think so. So all the best winning against someone who cannot lose. You're a serpent and you're a scorpion, and I will trample you underfoot. Do you understand? No such weapon formed against me shall prosper. I will refute every tongue that accuses me in the judgment, and I will be the one to condemn it. I am the one that's going to trample you underfoot, not the other way around. So keep on hovering over my secluded island and pouring sand, because the day's gonna arrive when your jet is gonna need maintenance. Your jet is going to need more fuel, and you're gonna run out of resources since you have not Christ behind you. Those who build a house in the devil build it in vain, but those who build a house in the Lord don't build in vain. Unless a builder builds their house in the Lord, the builders build in vain. So all the best. I'm signing out in Christ's name, Kren K. Bye.